Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
We'll be discussing few more steps, like few more methods, and we'll see how to write an activity. Property set page remove. And then what else we can discuss. Let me complete the property methods first. And then we are having this page set messages. Page set messages. Suppose if you want to set any validation message on screen. Like suppose if you are setting, like if you have given your date of birth as an future value. Date of birth must be a past value rate every time. Whenever you have given some incorrect value, then you can use this page set messages and you can set that message on a screen message. This is some kind of error message. Like it will ask for a page. On what page you need to say whether it's a primary page or a previous work page. It will ask for a message. You can write your own custom message. Like it will show a message like this. See, this is a message. It's coming right on the top of a screen. Like that. It will show one message on the top of a screen. Page set messages is used to set a message on a screen. A screen in essence back, and it will set on a page, and that page it will be shown on a screen. It will come on a screen actually. And one more thing we have already discussed it, right? Like in the activities. Like if you have questions on any method, suppose if you need to learn regarding page set messages, then you can click on this help icon. You have this question mark icon. If you click on this help icon, not only for this method, any method, it will open this page set messages. This help index like help box. There you can add detailed information like in a very in-depth manner for all the methods. Not only for this page, set messages for all the things. See, you have got to pay. Use a page set message to add a message to a clipboard page. Like a message associated with the property. A message property normally prevents a page from being saved. And see if there are any messages on any page. Suppose if you have a message and if you have some error message on customer ID page, then that page will not get saved into database. If suppose you are setting one message on customer ID page after customer ID page in the below, you are trying to save this page into database. You are trying to save this customer ID page into database because with the activities, you can manipulate data on database also, right? You are trying to save this data into a database. Now it will not get saved because the customer ID page has some error. Has some error message. You are trying to save this page. That's what he's saying, like the page. Normally it prevents the page from being saved. You understand? Prevents the page from being saved into the database. And this is if suppose there is any error message on a page, that page usually will not get saved into database. Any questions? Then we'll discuss. And next method, it's a page clear message. Page clear message is to remove all the messages from a particular page. Page clear message is to remove the messages from a particular place. See, there are no parameters. Here means you need to specify the page here on step page. What page you need to clear the message? You need to specify it on a step page that it will clear the messages on a particular step page. Got it? These two methods, page set messages and page clear messages. Next one, don't get confused. Here we have one more methodical property set messages. This one, property set messages. What is page set messages and what is property set messages? In case of page set messages, you will get an error message on a particular page, on top of a page, on top of a screen like this. In case of property set messages, you will get an error message near this particular properties. Like, if suppose you have a date of birth, it will show some exclamation mark near that property. You understand? See, if let me save this one, it might draw another. See if I save this one. You are getting the error right. This error you are getting. If you see, you are getting this exclamation mark near the label property. This is coming because they are using property set messages at label. You understand? And this is coming on the top of a screen because they are using page set messages. Is it clear? Any questions? A property set difference. You understand property set messages and page set messages. Page set messages will show like a generic message, like on the top of a screen. In case of property set messages, it will ask for a property name. A. If you see the method parameters, it is as well a message field in the sense you need to specify a property here. Field is nothing but a property. It is asked for a property name that it will specify that message like this, that message it will come near the property. Any questions? No, right? We can go ahead. Let me refresh this one. I think we will lose some methods. What we have discussed. We have discussed page set messages, page clear messages and property set messages. Property set messages are used to set a message near that particular property, like near whatever the property we are specifying in the method. It will show that exclamation like some kind of error in that. In that field, then we will discuss the next one, and we have, this is an interview question. Call method. What is a call method? See, if you want to call one data transform from another data transform, you will just apply data transform, write easy scale. If you want to call one data transform from another data transform, we will use upload data transform. Similarly, if you want to call one activity from another activity, you will use a method called call space. You need to mention other activity name. Suppose if I'm mentioning call space, something called generate it. Now what will happen? This call method will invoke this generator it activity. You can click on this crosshair icon. It will open it. Any questions? Call is to invoke one activity from another activity. This is an interview question. How to call? Call is to invoke one activity from another. Activity is like you will use a call method. Call is a keyword. If you click on down arrow, you will get this call method. Any questions? You need to give call space. You need to give the activity name. There will not be any method parameters, I guess. This is fine if you didn't give this required. Also, it's not an issue. Any questions, call method. Next one we can discuss. This active exit activity is there, right? It is similar to X data transfer. We will be having X data transform method right here. Exit is similar to XD2. We have exit activity. Whenever you add this exit activity, it will exit from this particular activity. Now you will be having a scenario-based questions here. Scenario-based questions. In the sense, suppose they will tell a question like you are using call method here and you are calling one activity called, let's think you are calling an activity called generated. Inside generated, you are using exit activity. Now inside generated, you are using exit activity. Now how it will behave? Now, how it will behave is like whenever this exit activity was executed, this step is executed, then the control will return back to the parent activity. This is the parent activity. Right from this activity, the generated is being called the control. Whenever the third step is executed, the control will get to the parent activity and it will execute the next step. Whatever the step that is present after this generator aid, it will execute. Is it there till now? Exit activity will end that particular activity. First thing is it will end the particular activity. If suppose that activity is being called from any other activity, then the control will return to the parent activity. On this point, let's say in an application we are following the registration wizard where we are asking for personal details in first wizard, professional details, and somewhat like third one is a third one. We can say another wizard. Let's say if I can use this activity to go to the second wizard, and on second wizard I can use this exit activity exists that I can come back to the personal detail page. A parent activity. You will come to the parent activity. Correct? But I don't think like it's a wizard and all, but it is like a rule invocation. It will invoke the first rule. Suppose this is an activity rule called test. This rule is getting executed. Now what will happen? It will come to the second step. In the second step, it will call this data transfer, this activity. It will start invoking this activity. Here again, inside this activity, again you have one more call. Now what will happen? It will go and it will again invoke another activity. It will go and it will complete execution of this particular activity and the control will come back to this activity again. This parent activity is the parent activity. If suppose you have another 4, 5 steps below, suppose you have other steps also below, but whenever it executed this fourth step, it will end this particular activity. It will come back from this particular activity and the control will come back to the test activity because it is being called from here. The code, the rule invocation will end at exit activity and the control will come to the parent activity. Similarly, you have another method called activity and this activity. And if you are using activity and instead of exit activity, the difference is like you will not get control back to the parent activity until activity sequence will stop. At that point of time, if you are using activity and instead of exit activity, what will happen? Whenever the fourth step was executed, activity in the end, in the sense it will end the entire activity. Rule invocation it. The control will not come back to this parent activity to hear it. It will not come and again it will not execute 3, 4 and 5 steps. It will end at this point itself. That is the main difference. They might ask you in interview questions activity and then exit activity. What is the difference? Exit activity in the sense it will exit from that current activity and the control will be coming to the parent activity and the parent activity will resume executing. In case of activity end, you will not get that control back to the parent activity. There is no any specific. We can say syntax for writing this activity method because when you were writing like exit activity, it's exit first and then activity and activity is first, right? No, I didn't get you like method for writing this activity. For exit, it's like exit activity, and for end, it's activity first and then end activity. Correct. We need to keep attention over there. There is no any specific like, if I am dealing with activity, always it will come on first place. That will be not the case. That will not be the case. Like anything might happen. Like based on the how you are actually configuring the activity based on your requirement. Got it. We have discussed it. Don't confuse exit activity and activity end. Now you have understood that exit activity and it will discuss one moment and call method also. You have understood it? They will ask you in interviews like suppose there's a parent activity called A, from A you are calling B and in B you are using activity end. Or actually they will not use that simple thing. They will say that there is an activity called A, from A you are calling an activity called B, and from C and from B you are calling C, and in C you are using exit activity, and in B you are using activity N. You understand the question. Let me write it down. See how they last. Right? There is the parent activity called a from A. You are using like, you are calling B, call B from B. You are calling instead of B, you are calling C. In C, you are using a method called exit activity. You are calling C. Now how it will be? Here will the control will get to or not? A control will not get to, because in here you are using activity and right here you are using exit activity. Here the control will get to B again. B will start resuming and B will execute this activity end and it will end that. It will end complete execution of activity. It will not return the control to activity A. You understand how actually they will frame the questions based on activity and then exit activity. You just take some time and you just analyze it. You will get the answer. Next will be any questions, guys. Basically, it is like a nested loop. Write one if as inside one, if there is another. If no, this is not a conditioning check, right? It will execute the. No, I'm saying you that the execution would be like that, only right. Execution like come up, ends the call C, and then once the inside the call B, there is a policy and first call C will end and then call B will end and then call L will be end. Right? Correct. Next thing is like activity, and we have discussed it, updated, transform, and next to what you will be using is like I'm just thinking for any C till now. Also, we are discussing only methods which will manipulate in clipboard only. We haven't started the methods which will manipulate the data on a database. These are all the methods which will manipulate data on clipboard like page set messages page, clear messages. These are all will set a messages on clipboard, 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 clipboard. We'll start the activity rules like a database manipulating rules. Let me write it down in manual what we have discussed. Page set messages. We have discussed it. Page set messages, page clear messages, property set messages. We have discussed and call method. We have discussed activity end. We have to see one data transform system. Everything will be easy. Only it's easy to exit activity. We have discussed. That's it, right? And we have one more method called page copy. Page copy. We will be using update page, write update page in data transforms to copy one page to another page. Write update page. If you remember, if you open this one, we'll be using update page. Right here we are using update page. Update page to copy one page information to another page. Information from with the values from vehicle information page to customer information. Right to copy one page information to another page. Similarly, we have page copy. If I expand this page, copy C it is asking from copy from. Copy from is something like if you want to write this particular code, if you want to write in data transform, the fourth step which we have, if you want to write this particular code in data transform, how we will write copy from will be vehicle information. Copy into will be customer page. Got it? Source and target from source to target. It will copy. Copy from is vehicle information with values from vehicle. Information with values from vehicle information copy into customer page. You will write the same thing here. Copy from is vehicle information, vehicle info page, and copy into will be customer info. You understand what I'm trying to say. Page copy, similarly to update page. You have one more method called page copy, same functionality. Any questions? Now we'll see the DB manipulating methods. Like, what are the methods available from database? See all the methods which will be manipulating a database. Database will start with obj hyphen. All the methods which are used to manipulate a database will start with sin. Will start with prefix obj hyphen. If you saw here, let's see what are the methods present with object. Object hyphen and click on down arrow. See, we have few methods. Or we just browse it, delete. Delete by handle filter list view. We have few methods with object. Some around 10 methods you will be have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. 12 methods we have with like these are the main methods which we will be having, which we will be manipulating, which will be manipulating database with these methods. Mainly in these 12 methods. Also, we will be using only like 4 to 5 methods. 4 to 5 methods we will be using. Not all the methods will. What methods will be using? Day-to-day life is like object delete, object browse. We will be using object delete by handle, object open by handle, obj refresh, and lock obj save. These methods we will be using in our day-to-day life. Out of this 12, there is no any custom kind of, we can say, data manipulation method. Custom kind of in the sense can any developer create like obj slash as per the requirement? No, that is not possible in activities. Like you can do whatever kind of thing you want to do. You can do with the given methods you like. If you want to do any manipulation, you can use the combination of methods, and you can actually achieve that functionality. Clear, you understand? Now we'll discuss first regarding obj browse. What is an obj browse? See, if you want to fetch multiple records from a database, if you have a database called some info, like we'll take this example because we have this already written. Suppose this is a table date, employee info is one database table. Now, if you want to fetch an employees who has salary greater than 2K, now, how actually you will fetch the data based on this column? Based on this column, employee salary column, you need to fetch the details, right? If suppose you need to the which an employee details, like employee name, we need to fetch based on employee salary, who has a salary greater than 2K. Now you will get all these 3 employee names, right? You will get all these 3 employee names. Let's delete this one. You understand? You will get all these 3 employee names. The same thing. We are looking at this and we are telling that we will get 3 employee names. Same thing. We need to write in some function, like we need to provide inputs to the function. What inputs we need to provide? First input is like we need to provide a DB table name, right? Because in a DB you will be having many tables. We need to specify a DB table name, correct? And second thing, what we need to specify is like condition. We need to specify, right, like condition in essence, employee salary greater than 2K. That condition you need to specify. That condition also we have specified. Let's assume. And next thing, what we have to specify based on the condition, what data you need, whether you need employee experience. You need employee name, gender. What data you need? We need employee name, and then we need to fetch the employee name, right? Is this understanding correct? If you want to fetch any information from database, first we need to specify DB table name to the system, right? How the system will know from which table it has to face. We need to specify a table name. After that, we have to specify any conditions. If we have any conditions, we will specify that conditions. Based on that conditions, we need to fetch the data, like whether it's an employee name or employee aid, whatever the property you want. You need to specify it there. Understand any questions here? This is really generic. This is not related to Pega or anything. It's a very generic thing, how we need to fetch a data from a table. Got it, guys? Yes, now we'll see how actually to write the same thing. We have discussed 3 steps, right? Specifying a table, specifying a condition, specifying a property, what thing we need. The same thing we'll be writing in obj browse. If you expand this object browse, that we minimize this one. If you expand this obj browse, you can see there are few parameters which the method is expecting. This is an obj browse. Inside this obj browse, it is expecting few methods, like few parameters are there which we need to specify. First name, first method, first required methods. We'll see first required method. This star mark is there means it is a required method. First required method is page name. It is asking for a page name. Page name in the sense like if you are getting these results from a database. Suppose you are getting these results from a database. We need to store these results in some clipboard page, right? We need to store these results in a clipboard on some particular page only. It is asking for page name. On what page I need to store the data? The result data. You understand page name. Why it is asking a page name? Page name means it has to store the browser results, the results which it has fetched. It has to store on a clipboard. It is asking for clipboard page. Give me some page name. I will store on that particular page. But here we need to give a page list only. Page list because object browse is used to fetch multiple records. Object browse means it will fetch multiple records. It is switching. 3 records means 3. It is switching 3 records. It is a list of records. When every time in case of object browse for a page name, we need to specify a page list name here. Remember page list because object browse will fetch some multiple records first. A first parameter is that clear page name. Why we are giving a page name? Next thing is object class. What we have discussed, a class is nothing but a DB table. We have discussed a right. Class is equal to database table where we have written that one class is equal to here. We have written it. Class is equal to B table. We need to specify a class here. Class in the sense if you are fetching the value of employee name, this employee name property will be present on particular class, right? This employee name will be present on some particular class. You need to mention that particular class name here. From which class you are fetching a data. You understand any questions? Class is nothing but a database table, right? You are just mentioning a DB name here that will be represented in a class. Suppose let's think like if you are fetching a data, vehicle information, some kind of color you are fetching, that property will be there, right? That property will be mapped to one particular class. That class you will be mentioning here. You see other details. This property is mapped to a class go roadwork. This particular class you will be mentioning here. You will mention like go road. Somewhere you will mention some class here. Understood any questions, class? Next thing is max records. Max records and CN here. This hours is a very we have only three reports. But it is not the case in a production rate, in a production or in a banking application. There will be millions and millions of records, right, like in a particular DB table. Suppose you are fetching your statement, bank statement. Your bank statement itself will be having many reports like from the past 2 years. If you are using the bank, many UP transactions, many transactions you will be having. It is asking how many records it has to fit, like some 500 records, 1000 records. You need to mention the number. This is not a required field. If you didn't mention, by default it will take us 10,000. If you specify, it will take it as some man number. Like if you have given 100, it will fetch only first 100 records. If you didn't specify, the default value is 10,000. Is this fine? Max records, yes, and these things we'll not discuss. No, get raw on these things now. If you saw the below, now we have to write our logic, write logic in essence. First we need to specify our condition, like how we will specify dot employee salary. Dot employee salary must be greater than 2K. Right, see, you have a condition. Here you can write your own condition like a greater than is greater than 2000. Is greater than 2000 the condition you have specified. Now you need to specify what properties you need to fetch based on a condition. Based on the condition, you need to fetch an employee name. Right? That is a requirement. You will add one more thing here. You will specify an employee name. You will select this field also to browse.employee name. .employee name. You will keep this one as value only. Value only means there is no condition. It will just fetch it. This is how you will configure object browse. You understand how what object browse is expecting. First thing is page name. Page name might be something called employee details. Employee details this employee details. See one more thing here. This employee details page is there. Right? This page is not there in clipboard till now. You need to create this page, new page. You will give this employee details here and this one every time. But whatever the page yours, you are actually specifying there that particular page must be mapped to a class called code Pega list. This is an Pega internal class. Whatever the page you are specifying inside object, browse that particular page, you should map to this particular class. This you have to by heart like this is a syntax, how we will use. You understand if you open this object browse method. If you open this object browse method, he will explain like each and everything what we have discussed. And now see object browse method is used to such instances of one class here, object browse method. This thing is there. It's see object page name of a destination page. Destination page in the sense on which page you are storing a data. The system uses code Pega list as a class of this page. Every time you need to map code Pega list as a class of that particular page. You understand any questions here? Page name, why we are using code Pega list? Because we are fetching a list of records. List of records will always be stored in a coded Pega list class. That one you have to remember. Any questions till now? Let's see few activities which we are using object browse. Let me close all the unnecessary thing. Let me search for object, browse this method, I got this method. This is a Pega internal. This is a Pega internal method. We cannot modify this method. This is in Pega rules rule set. We cannot modify or we cannot do anything here. We can see like where this method is getting used. You click on action. You click on view references where this method is getting referenced. You will get all the rule names. You will get all the rule names. Let me show you how actually they are using in a real time. If you understand the object browse, remaining all methods will be very easy. Object browse is something difficult. You understand, right guys? Object browse. First thing is like what you have to remember, object browse is used to feature multiple records. Second thing is like object browse, we can How to configure an object browse. You need to give a destination page name, like on which page it has to store our results. And second thing is like you need to specify class. Class is nothing but a database table. Class will be mapped to a database table from which table you are going to fetch that properties. You will specify that particular thing. After that, in the below, you need to specify your conditions and logic string, like the conditions in the water, the conditions you want. You need to specify. I'll show you how to specify a multiple conditions there based on a single condition. Also, it will fetch the data understood, right? Object browse any questions. Then after object browse, we will be discussing object open. After object browse, we will discuss object open. Object open is very simple. It can be completed in by 8 to 30 object open. Open. If you suppose, let's think there is an employee called Shanmukh. He in the back end. He has raised a referral request to update his mobile number. In a back end, he has raised a request to update his mobile number. Now what they will do? They will open that profile, his particular profile in a database like or else his particular record card in a database. He will try to update that phone number field, write some kind of mobile number. They'll write up it. How actually they will open that Shanmukh's record, like how actually they will open that particular record. They will open based on employee ID. They might open. If it is an organization, they will open based on employee ID because employee it is a key for a table, right? Employee it cannot be duplicated. Employee ID is a key. Based on an employee ID, they will open. They will open this particular record 1, 2, 3 and they will update some phone number. Phone number column here. Now, what is the main parameter for opening a record? If you want to open a record, you need to know the key of the table. Right, for this employee ID table, the key is employee ID. Like for employee info table, the key is employee ID. Similarly, for any other table, for every table, there will be one key. Suppose it is holding holding some personal information. That personal information might have a key called some kind of other number or passport number, whatever it might be. Whatever the unique properties will be there, those will act as a key for a tables. Based on that key, you can open that particular record and you can update that record. You understand it's like in database, usually we have primary keys. Primary same. It's a primary key only now. Now the primary key for a table is employee ID. How actually will open in an SQL. How you will open like select employee ID from employee info table. You will write to select. You'll use select method and or write a code in an SQL. Similarly, that SQL code only has been more modified into our normal language. If you see this object open, this was this open. Let's see that. If you see this object open, it will ask for the key. That's it. It's open, object open. See this object open. If you expand this met parameters, it is asking for a table. First thing is table in a sense class. Where it is asked for particular class and it is asking for a key value, like you need to write, like if you are opening some pi it is equal to you. Specify a key like 1, 2, 3. Now it will open. The class is some employee info table. Let's assume employee info table. Now for this particular table, actually you have to mention a class here. Now for this particular table, it will open based on this particular key, and that whole record information will be there, right? This whole record information like employee name, salary, experience, gender, phone number, whatever the entire table information will be there, right? That will be stored on a step page. We need to mention some step page here, some kind of page. You will mention here employee details or something, but it is a single page. Obj open is used to, fetch is used to open a single record information. But in case of obj browse, obj open is like this, it's in a horizontal way. It will open the records. Like this, it will open one particular record, but it will fetch the date of all the properties, like employee name, employer salary. You need not specify what properties you need. But in case of object browse is like this, you need to specify what you need. Like it will fetch multiple records. Like if you're specifying employee name here, if you're specifying employee name in the obligate browse here, it will fetch multiple records like a B, C. Like that it will fetch. Basically object browse is like at a column level. Correct open is at row level, right row. It is like a row level. Like if you want to update one particular employee or one particular record you need to update, then you will open that record. First shuffle. You need to open that record. I'll tell you how you need to do. You are opening this particular record. You have all the details on employee details page. Now you need to modify one particular thing, right? How you will do is like you will write a property set. You rate property set. What page you are modifying? You are modifying employee details page. You will give employee details as a step page and inside employee details page. Now, if you are updating any phone number or anything, whatever the data you need to update, you will update it. Dot employee phone and you will set to some value. Whatever the value you need, that value will set. After that, what you will do? You will save this page. Save in the sense you will use a saving method. You have another method called object save. They will do. Now this record will get stored into a database obj save and you need to mention the page name. What are the step page? You are mentioning that page. You need to give it here. You are opening one record. You are making some changes to that particular record and again you are saving it. You understand how we will use. Object browse is to browse multiple information like it will you. It is used to fetch multiple records. Object browse is used to fetches one particular record. Object open requires a key to open a record. But in case of object browse, key is not required because you are not opening any record. You are just fetching the records. Like you are browsing the records. To save a data to a database, you will use a method obj save. We'll discuss this one in detail. Like today, the main focus is on object browse and object open. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.